Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special Rob's Ramblings slash sort of a review, impressions, I don't know what you want to call this, but I wanted to talk about scales and modding knives, right? Something that I really enjoy doing, and here's a little sample of some knives that I've done, and just the different things that I've done over the years. Some of them I don't have anymore, some of them I do. Some more giveaways. So, you know, it all depends on what you guys, what you're into. But I just wanted to talk about things that I've enjoyed, my feelings about some of these, which, they're in my collection. So that tells you probably right away that most likely these are things that I do like and have favorable reactions to and favorable thoughts about. So let's get into this. All right. So modding to me is when you can change something on a knife and make it a little bit better or different. Some people might argue whether it's better or not. People who are purists might like the knife in its original state and feel like you should never change it. I respect that. And if that's your opinion, by all means, that's your collection, your knife. You do what you want. Man, it is always your collection, your choices, right? But for my collection, what I like to do is I like to mod. And Spider, you can see that I really do like modding Spydercos. I do like modifying Benchmades. I do like modifying, Andrew Demko's 8020s, right? 8020.5s. Another one that I will be modding is I have an 8020. It's not on here because I don't have the scales yet. I did order the original Goat. I might be ordering another original Goat set of scales on something else. And I have some goals, some thoughts of maybe some future knives I like to maybe consider modding. What for me I really enjoy is when you see, like you'll see here's two different paramilitary 2s, right? And then you'll see 3 paramilitary 3s, right? So I have 3 and 2 here. Matter of fact, I thought I had another paramilitary 3 over here, didn't I? I do. Oh, I do. It's over in the case. It's the collection piece. It's one of those knives that was given to me by my wife, and that one's in the Arctic Storm Fat Carbon Arctic Storm. Matter of fact, hold that thought. And so, yeah, this is the one that my wife gave me, but I also modded that. I put Fat Carbon Arctic Storm scales on there. Now, when I do carbon fiber, I do mod them a little bit extra. I will, round out the scales on the side. So that's another thing that I do. Matter of fact, I have one more. Okay, I lied. Not one more, 3 more. So another one I have enjoyed, my Wee Banter. I've put unlock composite scales. Those are some other ones that I've done. And I've done that on the Baby Banter and the Wee Banter. And then I also did a little Frankenstein thing here on my lander. I got the Smoky Mountain Knife Works Mars Valley Fat Carbon scales and swapped them out with the Urban EDC version. So just so you know, I mean, it's something I enjoy, right? I enjoy doing that. And so my thoughts and impressions on scales are really, really very positive. So let's kind of go through some of these things here and why I like them. So the Andrew Demko, the 8020.5 is a great knife. It's made in Taiwan. Both of these right here are pretty premium. This right here is the 3V version, Tanto. Got that one out for DLT trading. This is the original Goat scales. Really, really like these scales here a lot. This is so sweet. Very nice. I got a Lynch clip, deep pocket carry clip right here, which to me is like just kind of a given, something that you should always do. But this is so comfortable. It's rounded corners. The FRN and the G10 scales were just kind of, I don't know, they were just thin and sharp and edgy, and I didn't care for that. This was just so much more comfortable. I mean, it just makes this knife so much more enjoyable and feels so much more premium. So that's one thing that I've done here. A lot of these knives, if they have caged bearings, I would put in skiffs. So there's skiffs in this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So all these other ones are phosphor bronze, so they're not going to have skiffs, but I do enjoy doing that. Original Goat is awesome, and by the way, I'm an affiliate with Original Goat-use RNK. You save 15%. I highly recommend that. If you're looking at our Original Goat, save some money. I mean, it helps the channel, but it helps you mostly. 15% is pretty cool. So here's another one. This is the Rockscale Designs, which you'll see a lot on here. I really enjoy Rockscale Designs a lot because of the functionality and the texture and how they work. Not only that, on his 8020.5, I believe it's the best mod you can get out there as far as ergonomics, right? This is probably the best looking one. Now, I could have done his in plain tie, which you'll see I've done over here in some of these other ones, but that would probably look pretty sick as well. But I gotta say, I love his little he has a little extra cutaway. And so to me, that mod was a bonus. Now this is 20 CV, really, really great little one. And of course, cage bearing. So that makes that knife, it just took it to the next level. Absolutely next level as far as I'm concerned. So that was the 80-20. So now you get into the Spydercos, and you can see I've done the Shaman, and here's a little native, which is basically a baby Shaman. Now these are really, really souped up, fancy mods. Okay, so this is Ripp's Garage Technology RGT. I used on that. Now Ripp's Garage Technology I have on this one, and this one. This is Ripp's Garage Technology as well. I've had them on some other knives, some smocks, some other things. I've had different scales from them from my Shaman. So this is a Shaman as well. Now what I've done here on these guys is now not only did I mod the scales, which is cool, I modded the clip, which is cool, but I also put what this thing here is. This is called a CME. If you know OCD for EDC, a channel, go check him out, really cool. He makes these G10 CMEs, like here's a G10 one, right? He makes these, but here is a titanium version. Now I got it from him, and it's usually kind of a, you know, gray, kind of raw titanium. I polished it up because I wanted it to match the scales. And boy, that just makes a really nice difference on this. And of course, this particular one is an LMAX version. So this is the LMAX version, which is a Blade Ops exclusive. So I like to do the Spyderco exclusives. That's always fun for me. And I kind of feel like, you know, most people, they don't buy Spyderco and just leave it. They'll get a Spyderco and you know, it's like almost like a little mod project, right? So I enjoy Ripp's Garage Technology a lot. Those are really cool scales. What I do like about the carbon fiber, though, is I can kind of use my Dremel and round the corners. Sometimes when they're not as rounded as I would like them to be, rounding the corners makes a huge difference. Like on the original Goat, they do a really outstanding job on that, and that makes this so much more comfortable. It really does. It really does. It's kind of a cool thing. I did that on my Unlock Composite scales and this Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive Fat Carbon Mars Valley one that I swapped over to the Urban EDC M390 lander, which is really cool. So that's a lot of fun. All right, so next one I'll get into is a lot of the Rockscale designs, because we just talked about them up here. But I have Rockscale designs on this one, this one, this one, this one, and these three. All right, so these are all Benchmades. I have them on those, but I have them on my my paramilitary 2s and my one paramilitary 3. These are different. I'll talk about those in a second, but I really enjoy these. Like here is the same design with the aluminum blasted scale. Really cool. Gives great texture. I got to tell you, the paramilitary 2 was a little big, and it wasn't as comfortable with the real. You know, the G10 was too crazy rough. But then some of the scales that I got for it were just not comfortable, right? And so once I figured out that you could have this like aluminum blast with the texture, it just made it really nice. Now this is the MagnaCut version, the Salt series, and I felt like it needed something really cool. And I like this black on gray look with the black DLC coated blade. See, it's a little dirty because I use my knives, right? But again, that CME is just so sweet. Really allows you to use the knife really well. So, and that's what I really enjoy about that. Now, what you can do is he does do some anodizations. He doesn't do just that, or just the, where is it? Just a plain titanium, which you can ask for, by the way. He also has some, excuse me one second. Hey. All right, I'm back. Sorry, my dog is playing with this toy and squeaking away over there. And there he goes again. So we're gonna try to play through this. This is Kershaw over there playing with this toy. So forgive the squeaks, it's the dog. He's playing away. I might have to move him out of my office. All right, so hold on a second, because come on, dude. Come on, dude. You can't be squeaking. You can't be squeaking. Gotta wait. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to take his toy away just for a second. But this is the anodized. This is purple, by the way, which is a particular voltage that you get to, and you get this kind of a blue and purple look depending on the angle of the light and how it refracts. I also have a purple scale. Now this one will look more purple if I polish it with some Windex. So that's the only thing, you know, your oils can sometimes affect how it works. This is CPM S90V, a really cool blade steel again. And again, a Lynch clip deep pocket carry clip. Now, Rockscale Designs, he also makes his own clips, which are the milled ones, which I think are really cool. He actually has a purple one as well. It didn't match this one as well as this one, and there is going to be one of my big 5K giveaways. So depending on when you see this video, if it's in the past, we might already have done the 5K and given it away, but if you haven't seen it yet, there will be a 5K set of scales similar to this, maybe not as purple, you know, maybe a little more polished off, but it's still purple, but it's just more polished, because normally that's what he did. This was sort of a Blade Show exclusive special run that I took to Texas Blade Show to kind of show off Rockscale Designs to a lot of folks there, which I thought was cool. You'll see that purple matches more like his hardware that I have on here with that clip and a backspacer. And to me, that was a nice touch on the little pair 3, right? Again, the CME, the Lynch deep pocket carry clip, I really like that. I mean, to me, again, it gives texture to a knife that before might have been slippery or been too rough on aggressive texture. Here is a Manix 2, and now this one also has the Flytanium, Titanium by Flytanium caged, the ball caged locking mechanism. And then I ordered that from OCD for EDC, by the way, and he also sells the ceramic ball that goes with this and the spring, so you can get a custom spring for that. This is the S110V blade steel on this one. Again, deep pocket carry clip, that's the stubby one. And then also it comes with the lanyard tube. I think you can get a backspacer. I don't remember if he does a backspacer for this one. He might. But this is really cool as well. I mean, just a nice thin slicey, and it's just so comfortable. Again, it makes that knife so much better. I'm going to come back to these two because they're really cool. Now let's talk about them now, because we'll go to the Benchmade at the end. So this one right here is a Lynch Northwest. I just recently got this and reached out to them. Guys are really great over there. I get a lot of their clips. I've spent thousands there, if not, over the years, right? Because I buy clips and all sorts of stuff from these guys. Well, this is the S110V Pair 3 version right here, okay? So we had an S110 over here in the Manix too, but this one right here is the Lynch one. This is the Fibonacci, which is, if you see the little looping here, that's the Fibonacci formula, right? It kind of comes from that. So, I put these on, and they're really cool. Now, they are lined on one side that you can put the liner in. The other one, it's not milled necessarily for weight relief, so it has a little weight to it, but it's not super heavy at all because it's titanium, right? So that's really cool. I put the CME. I felt the black G10 was going to be the best match on this one again, even though it's titanium. But this is called the Dark Abyss, and man, I just love that Dark Abyss pattern. So again, it's something different. It's different, and they round the edges really well. It makes this knife just comfortable and fun to carry, right? I mean, I enjoy carrying this one, that's a lot of fun. Again, I love mixing it up. We got crew wear here, we've got S90V here, we got Magna Cut here, we got S110V, we got S110V here, and then we get over here to, this is Maximate, and that's a really high, edgy, super edge retention kind of one. But this is a special one. This is like, I would call this my almost custom spider comb. This is RG Custom Metalworks. He makes these scales, and they're phenomenal. Unfortunately, sometimes his books are, you know, all backed up and they're not open, and it's hard to get on there. But this is definitely a guy you want to look for and try to email him and see if you can get on him. But what I did on this one again was we did these custom scales, which are absolutely worth it. They're not cheap, but they're absolutely worth it. They're contoured, beautiful texture here. I love the feathering going on here, and the clip matches, and it's a very functional clip that works really well in and out of pocket. And then, of course, you know, it is the Maximate, so the action is ridiculous on this thing. Beautifully dead centered. And so what I added to this is I also added the titanium CME. And I put that on here and polished this one up. I think this might have been the first one I did ever. OCD for EDC, he had them. He was kind of testing it out. And then I took this, I polished it, I put it on there, and then he kind of published it. And a lot of people really liked it. And so I think it's taken on because he's now producing more and he's got a better production going. And so they're even cheaper than what I paid for this one originally, which is cool, right? But I love this on here. Now you got to make sure you use a really good glue for that, but it's definitely worth it. I also put this, I think it's KB Customs. It's they do a lot of custom stuff. I did this lanyard plug. I like this a lot. It's something that, you know, I might put over here on this one. I already got plugs on the other ones already, so they're kind of already customs with it, but really like the way this came out. This is very much like a very little custom, very, you know, fancy little knife. And it was expensive, but the nice thing about what I love about doing customs just on a detour here is you can do parts. You don't have to do everything all at once, right? You could do everything at once if you know what you're going to do, or you can do them in sections, right? You could do a scale first, you could do a backspacer later. Like for instance, I still want to come back and replace this backspacer on my Shaman. I think that's another thing I'm going to do. So those are other ones there. Now we get over here to the Benchmade. So this is the tagged out brand new one he just came out with. He's going to be coming out with new backspacers, probably a texture, but this was his first run. I got a chance to check it out and kind of feature it in the video. But the tagged out has a beautiful thin blade, such a beautiful slicer. There's different versions. This is a CPM 154 one, which is a great steel. CPM 154 is definitely way better than 154 CM. I just, you know, it's powdered versus ingot, so that there's a lot of things to be said there, right? And heat treat and all of these other things, but beautiful, beautiful, nice blade. And I love this one. And what I love too, a lot of times Rockscale Designs, even if I don't have centering on well with some of their knives, once you put theirs on, it centers up really nicely. His tolerances are so tight. Now it has the original orange backspacers. I'm waiting to see if he comes out with a different backspacer. If not, I'm gonna probably order some like plain ones. Maybe I'll do black to match the hardware. I think that would look nice on this one, so maybe we'll do that. But this is a really cool one as well. I like that. Now I tried the you know, the very smooth polished, you know, nothing on there. I like this. The only thing about the tagged out, it's a little bigger knife, and you know, when I'm doing left-handed, you know, if my hands are dry, it's a little hard to get a grip on there, and that's where some texture is really nice to have. So that would be my only thing, is I would probably do if I did it again, I'll do the aluminum blast on that one. This is cool, but like on here, this really polished look looks fantastic, and it works really great on a bug out. This is the M4 bug out, CPM M4. This was Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive. I got to trade with somebody to get this knife, and knife was in beautiful shape, and so then I was able to mod it out, and I thought this was just looked great. It does come with the black back spacer that comes with, I modded that on there. Now, because it matches all the hardware, probably a black clip would have probably complemented this one pretty nicely, but we went with the polished grip clip on this one. I still like it a lot. That's really cool. Now here's one that kind of a specialty that he did, and this one's really cool. He doesn't do this for all of them. This one here is a contoured one. This is for the Osborne 940. As you can see, now it's contoured, it's shaped all the way around, and this has got a little very unique texture. It was more expensive because this type of milling costs money. You know, you do these types of special milling here are more expensive. Now this is still, this costs more than a smooth one, obviously. So, but this is contoured, and contoured costs more. And so I really like this and the shape on this one. Now, the only thing I had a problem with this one, this is the S90V special version. I didn't expect it to be acid washed, or whatever you call atomic wash, or whatever you want to call this. I thought it was going to be more polished. And as a result, I thought, man, this is not looking as nice. But I had this black pivot, and I thought, okay, the black pivot with this to the polished kind of transitions well. It transitions well. Now I might have maybe done a black back spacer, you know, just things you don't know. The original thumb studs are like these right here. They're a little small, and I always had a hard time getting to them. I couldn't get it open. So I got these custom thumb studs, which are similar to what's on the mini Adamas. Highly recommend those. That's another thing you can do. You can customize your thumb studs if you have thumb studs, right? That's always fun to do. There's all sorts of things I do on these knives that make it a lot of fun. Now, one thing I always do with all of my phosphor bronze washers, I take them apart, I clean them, I polish the phosphor bronze, and I always get like way better action. Like when I first got this thing was like really slow, but now I can get the drop shut, right? I can get it to drop shut for the most part now. Okay, so a thing about phosphor bronze, if you don't use them for a while, they oxidize, and then the phosphor bronze is not as smooth, right? It starts to be a little rougher after a while. So, but once I use this again, that drop shut is gonna come right back here. So there it is, I'm back already. Just because I haven't carried this one in a while, but I love this. The clip works really well. The texture is great, and then these little thumb studs give me better access for my big old meaty fingers. Now, maybe you don't have meaty fingers. Maybe this is not a thing for you, but for me, this was helpful, right? I like that because they have a very tight thumb studs to the thing, and you really got to use it right there, right? You got to kind of get right on the scale to push it out, which is kind of one of those things. That's what gives that nice sleek profile and that beautiful kind of, I don't know, this to me is really truly a sheep's foot, right? But people call it reverse tanto. They could call it a worn clip, you know, call it modified, whatever you want to call it. You know, it is a, what is it? An Osborne design. So yeah, it's one of those Osborne designs, which it's classic. It's been around forever. Here's the other paramilitary 3 with the Ripp's Garage technology, Lynch deep pocket carry clip, the CME, all the things that I enjoy. Now, at first when I got this, it had really sharp edges. Well, I got a Dremel and I started figuring out I can soften those edges on carbon fiber, and that's been a lot of fun to do. I've really enjoyed that. For a while, I didn't like this. I didn't like the scales on this one, and I was not very happy with it. But then once I discovered I could do that, the scales work really, really nice. And I do like the Arctic Storm. It's a beautiful scale. I liked it so much in the beginning. I had like tons of knives in it. And then I was like, oh, that's too many. Which, you know, you get a little crazy with something, you can get too much of one thing, right? That's why I like to mix it up here. I like to do different designs, different colors and textures. I don't want it to be exactly the same. When it comes at least to modding, they're all titanium. I like doing a little purple once in a while. You don't see this a lot for me. So this is kind of like a little special treat to do. I do enjoy doing these guys. But it's not something I do regularly. And even then, you know, I might just have a little touch, a little accent with there. And so then even with that, sometimes, you know, you might put a little black on there, you know, that's in there with the hardware. So I like that. Here's the Mars Valley. This is not necessarily a mod in the sense of buying new scales and adding to it, but it is a mod in the sense I Frankenstein 2 different knives together. The other one I'm going to be giving away, or have, depending on when you see this video, already given away, on the 5K giveaway. But what I did is also contoured and rounded the corners on this, and it makes it really, really nice. And the action's crazy because, again, I put skiffs on this one. You can put skiffs. Steve Skiff started making skiffs for the lander, and to me, it's just really outstanding. It just has beautiful action now. It's a great little 5th pocket knife to me. I love that. It's like I put it in there with my little native. This is probably the fanciest little native. Now, one thing I did do on here, this is Ghost Timascus. I'm not into Timascus a lot. Have a little bit of it. Might be experimenting with something on another knife, but I don't like, you know, overt Timascus. I've seen it twice where I think it looks amazing. An 80 20.5, Andrew Demko actually did one for a blade show. That looked gorgeous, okay? And then, honestly, Ripp's Garage Technology recently on Instagram posted on some scales like this without the texture that he did with Timascus. Oh my gosh, it was simply stunning. Now, that is something I would be probably interested in doing. Typically, it's very expensive, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It makes it a beautiful collection piece, but as you know, anything in my collection, I carry. So here's one other thing that I also talk about. I don't talk a lot about. This looks like, well, it's just a standard Project X from Rick Hinder, right? You know, you just look at this and you think, this is just a standard Project X from Rick Hinder. What did you mod about this? Well, when I first got this, it was the orange G10 scales. Now, getting a Project X is hard enough to get, but I knew for this, you would have to probably get the titanium scales afterwards. So I did mod another knife, I just remembered. My XM18 non-flipper. This is a modded scales. These are Mettenboss scales, and Mettenboss makes some really good scales too. I had some on my smock and some other knives. Really do like his stuff as well. This is the Mettenboss titanium frag pattern. Highly, highly sought after. Beautiful job. He matches up really well. And I wanted something different than the traditional, you know, Rick Hinder style, right? So I was pretty excited about that to get this one. And I like this. It's different. Now, the XM18, I'm not a flipper fan. I love the non-flipper version. This, to me, is my favorite version of this. Works really well. And also, I have bonus flick. I can do middle finger reverse flick on this one. So this is another one I probably should have had in here. But that one truly is a mod, per se. Again, skiff cage bearings in there. Oh, and Lynch deep pocket carry clip. Now, this is the regular one. This is kind of similar to what you see over here. That's the mod on that one. But on this one, here's another mod. I also put the milled deep pocket carry clip. It's a little more expensive, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Works really well and looks really, really great on here. So I can tell you that I'm a big fan of Rockscale Designs. Big thumbs up. I'm a big fan of Ripp's Garage Technology. Big thumbs up. I'm a big fan of Unlock Composites. Big thumbs up. I really like them. I'm a big fan of Mettenboss. Big thumbs up on all those. Recently, my most recent one is the Lynch clip. I've always gotten their Lynch clips, but I never got the scales. I love this Dark Abyss. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful finish on this thing. Just simply stunning. I think that's something maybe everyone ought to consider. And I love this Fibonacci. I'm not sure if I'm saying Fibonacci. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think in Italian it'd be Fibonacci, something like that, because I think it's the accent's on the second or third syllable. So it's Fibonacci, something like that. But, ooh, hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I'm just flicking away. Normally I wouldn't have them in this tight quarters, right? And I don't recommend you flipping in such tight quarters. And what I just did is I cut my finger on here as I was flicking the knife. I was not being careful. I'm trying to hurry, you know, and stuff. It's not smart. Don't do that. So anyways, it's a very small cut. I'm totally fine. It didn't hardly even bleed at all. But I'm just going to cover it up so it heals really quick. And I'm going to usually get a comment. It's like, oh, you got nicked again, because everyone loves to point out when I get a little cut. But, you know, hey, you play with knives, you know, you might get cut. It happens. Especially when you play with a whole bunch of knives at one time, right? So be careful out there. Be careful. Don't be quick with them. Be careful. And I still believe a sharp blade is the safest blade, because if it's dull, you're going to do stupid things. A sharp blade, you know what it's going to do. Now, you can also do stupid things with sharp blades, so, you know, be careful. But again, getting back to this is the deep pocket carry clip. I really like that a lot. I think those are great. Those are high milled ones. Now, I've actually put those on, where else have I put them on here? Just so you can see, I put them on my XM18 Auto. It has a dark one that matches this DLC one. And then I also put it on a Chris Reeves Sabenza, a large Sabenza, which this one was also modded too, to be honest with you, if you're going to talk about modding. This is the Blade HQ exclusive, and it had the blue single thumb, Chris Reeve thumb stud, and it had the blue hardware here in the back, and it had the regular clip. So I got the Lynch deep pocket carry clip, which I love on this thing. It works really great. I think it's way better than even the normal clip. I mean, it's a little shorter, but I love it. I punched out the thumb stud because there was only one, and I put these customs on, and they match the scales really, really nicely. I polished it. I tuned the detent because the detent was ridiculously strong. Now I can get it to drop. But it's still buttery smooth, right? I can still buttery smooth. I have the reverse flick now. I can use both sides. I can flick over here left-handed as well, which I really like. And I took these off, and I used flits, and I just polished the anodization off because I didn't want that blue in it. It was rubbing off pretty quick anyway, so to me it looks better polished. So those are other mods that I like to do. I mean, I also put skiffs in almost every knife that I can. If it could take skiffs, I'll put it in it, right? I mean, I'll do that to my customs, to my you know, nicer knives, to my you know budget knives. I'll put skiffs in just about everything. I love that. By the way, if you didn't know, Original Goat, you get a 10% off. Rockscale Design-use RNKRSD, you get 10% off of that if you use that code with them. So for Original Goat, it's RNK. For Rockscale Designs, you use RNKRSD, you get 10% off of those. Highly recommend that. And then for skiffs, you use RNK10, you get 10% off your skiff caged bearings. Those are fun too. I put those in a lot of things. Where do I have my bag of skiffs over here somewhere? Yeah, so I always have a lot of bearings here and stuff that I put in. These are custom bearings. I like to put them into the knives. So those are types of mods. But as far as scales, love all of these. Lynch clip is really cool. Really appreciate them letting me get a chance to check this out and put this on this. And this S110V felt like it needed to be something special. But great, great, great fun things to do. So I really recommend Rockscale Designs. There's a lot of things here. These things stay in my collection because I really like them and was able to do certain things. There's some things that some of these knives would not have made it in my collection. For instance, I had a Banter for the longest time. I actually ended up selling it. I had a carbon fiber one. I didn't know how to mod and Dremel the stuff at the time. And then I heard about these unlocked composites and how they drilled this out more, you know, on his modding part. And I thought, that's amazing. And then I realized, wait a second, he's just changing how he's milling those. And, you know, then I figured with a file, I actually did this one by hand, by manual, rounding the corners because they were a little sharp, they were a little edgy. And putting a round on there made this super comfortable and feel super premium. Oh, by the way, this is a Civivi titanium clip. It came with a really cheap Lander clip. All right, sorry, I got a call. I was interrupted there for a second. So I put these Civivi mill clips on every one of these knives. Really, really like that. That's a lot of fun. Really high end, makes the knife just feel so much more premium. Really, 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 really recommend that. Oh, little O-rings I put on there too. That's some other things you can do on some of the knives if they have the thumb studs that allow it. That's always a lot of fun to do as well. So that's you know, third-party kind of custom things. Like this is a Hinder official clip, right? I mean, official scale. But this is Lynch, a deep pocket carry clip. This is a Menton Boss. It's not official, but then all these Lynch clips work really well. Now, Lynch has sometimes these programs he works directly with some of the manufacturers. So, like for instance, my McNees. I have a couple of McNees that Let me show you this. This is a Lynch clip made for McNeese, but it's in collaboration with McNeese. And so this is a really nice, really goes well on my McNeese knife, and I love modifying that as well. And I put it on my McNeese Auto as well, and that matches really well. And so the hardware matches that. I think it's really kind of cool. A nice touch for the knife. So more things you can customize, and Skiffs, again, of course, on here, Skiffs. I don't take the autos apart. I don't put Skiffs on those because autos are different, right? But those are things you can certainly do. Here's my 80-20 that I'm going to put original goat scales. I'm going to eventually modify this. Now this is a G10 I don't have to modify. Look how beautifully rounded this is. That's what I try to get with the other G10 or fat carbon, because this to me makes a huge difference. And that's the reason why this is USA made and such. I will be putting Skiffs in there. I already put a Lynch deep pocket carry clip on there. That makes a huge difference as far as I'm concerned in carry. It's just a nice touch. Just a really, really nice touch. Highly recommend that. Very cool. So those are some of the things that you can do. And the thing is, you don't have to do all these things at once. These can be little mini projects. And to me, every time I do a little mini project, it makes a knife feel new. It makes a knife feel different. And I really do enjoy that. And I have a lot of videos on some of the things I've done here. Some things you don't see videos on if it was a really quick little thing. I do tuning. I tune a lot of my frame locks and my liner locks. Excuse me, like this one here was really tight. And I tuned it so it's really easy for the action, and it has a little drop shot action. You may not like that. Some people may like a very crisp, stronger detent. And you know what? You can tune it the other way around. You can make it crisper if you like that. I happen to like it this way. I like that drop shut, but not guillotine. I like it a controlled drop shut like here. See, that's a controlled drop shut on this one right here. I love that. That made this really enjoyable. I have another knife that I actually did recently. Actually, let me talk about two other knives, some other mods you can do. So this is the Urban EDC. It's a production knife from Urban EDC. It's a Trevor Berger. It's a kind of a production version of his custom that he has, which I actually have a custom of his. And this is phenomenal, phenomenal knife. Riop did this really great. Now, the detent was really ridiculously strong. And it didn't have skiffs in there, and so I put skiffs in there. So now I can do the middle finger reverse flick with the blade. That to me was a simple but important tuning and help. But also this clip. You see how rounded this is right here? The original clip was very square, and people really, they end up selling their knives and getting rid of it because the clip was just so uncomfortable. It ripped their pants. They couldn't get it in and out of their pocket. I took this off and I used my Work Sharp Ken Onion belt sharpener to round that off, and then I polished it. You could probably do that with a Dremel, or you can do it with the Ken Onion one, right? But once I did that, it goes in and out of the pocket really nice. So those are little mods that can make you enjoy and save a knife. The Chavez Redition 229 had really crazy sharp edges all the way around, and a lot of people got rid of it because it was that. Now, if you had dark black one, it would show up, but here, because it's titanium, I polished these. You can see it looks a little shiny on the corners, but I got rid of the edges. It made it really uncomfortable and would get bruises. I also tuned the detent on this one because it was ridiculously heavy, but now it's very controlled. For a big heavy blade, it didn't drop like this. You had to really shake it to get it, which some people are going to love. The other thing was the clip. The clip was not rounded like this one is. It was very, very square, and it was really grabbing on my jeans and being a pocket shredder. This is much, much nicer. Really, really nicer. And I think I polished this a little bit too because that wasn't super, super soft. So those are little things you can do. I mean, there's a lot of fun projects you can do. And some of these things I'll have videos for. Some I won't. I think I do a little short on this one here. I never did the, no, I did do the video on this one. I did. Yeah, and that one got a lot of views because I guess a lot of people like to take their Chavez apart and work on them. So that was a very popular video. You should go check that one out if you have a Chavez and that's some things you're thinking about. But lots of fun things to do here. Just so you know, I mean, this made every one of these knives a new knife for me at some point, maybe once or twice or 3 times over. So, you know, I didn't feel like I had to go buy 3 times more knives, right? I can just change some things on there. Sometimes adding CMEs is a huge difference for a knife like this. And the CME was originally made for lefties so that they could open and close this knife left-handed. Okay, so this is a small knife. Yeah, give me a time. Once I carry it, I figure it out. But it's like when it's little like this, it's like, okay, come on, Robert. Sorry, it's like, you're not gonna believe me, but I promise you, once I figure how I open this regularly, here we go. All right, so it's, you know, it's not one that I once I carry it for a little bit, it's like I figured it out again. But there we go. I'm getting there. But all right, so enough of that. Just wanted to share that with you. What are your thoughts? What are some knives you've modded? What are some things you've done with your knives? What are some things you want to do with your knives? Are you interested in any of these things? You think I'm an idiot for doing some of these things? I mean, let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear from you. Love to see what your ideas of mods are. I mean, people do some crazier things than this. You can reprofile your edges. You can put a hollow grind on there. There's some great people like Transparent Knives. He does some fantastic stuff out there. You can get a whole new blade on your Benchmades and other things. I think just some crazy. You can put thumb studs on things you don't have thumb studs on. You know, I thought I saw somebody put thumb studs on their rendition, which I think would be a cool addition, right? Definitely. So, some people might put thumb studs on something like this as well because they feel like it's a flipper only. They don't want that. Anyways, those are some of the cool things. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I appreciate you guys. And hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, and worthwhile, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button as well? Subscribing and liking the videos, excuse me. Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel. Allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, who likes the videos. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video. And to all my channel members, a big thank you. Seriously, thank you. For those who've been here from the beginning, joined along the way, and joined recently, I appreciate you. And as my way to say thank you, I do it once a month. Members exclusive giveaway, and I usually try to make it a very nice knife, and I have been because so many generous people joining, becoming channel members. I want to make sure you know I appreciate you. Now, if you've been on the fence and you thought, hey, I'd like to become a channel member, I'd love to have you. I'd be honored. Check out the link down below. There's in the description. There's a link for 3 different tiers. Would be honored. Please don't ever feel obligated to be a channel member. If you just enjoy watching the content, you're watching the live streams, I appreciate you, and I love to have you here. But if you want to be a member and help, man, I appreciate it. It allows me to do a lot of things that I otherwise wouldn't do. Some of these mods probably wouldn't happen. It'd be years down the road, right? So I appreciate you guys so very much. And also, if you're a brand new channel member or you've been a channel member and haven't asked me yet and you're still a channel member, email me with your name and address and I'll mail you a sticker. It's my small way to say thank you. All right, well, I appreciate you guys so very much. And if you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.